beautiful morning. While the little monkey Lily was lounging around scrolling through her phone, she got a call from her dad.
Hello Lily. Làm gì đấy Lily? Hả? Ra trong phòng à? Lily.
Lily dear, could you bring a bottle of cool water out to the fields for me?
Okay.
Listening to her dad, Lily immediately scurried to the refrigerator to grab a cold bottle of water. She carefully placed the bottle on her tiny toy wagon and began her journey to the fields. On the familiar dirt path, Lily suddenly saw a young man walking ahead of her accidentally drop his wallet. "Sir, you dropped something." Lily hurriedly tried to catch up and call out, but the young man was already too far gone. Lily picked up the wallet and sat obediently by the roadside, hoping the young man would soon realize and come back for it. Wow. After waiting for a while, a little idea sparked in Lily's small head. She pulled her basket, took the wallet, and went straight to the grocery store. Maybe I'll use it to buy a sweet cake, she thought to herself.
Đi nha. Ủa thì con, đi. Đây hả? Lựa đi nha. Với thì con.
But just as she arrived at the store, the image of the young man with what would surely be a worried face flashed back into her mind. She suddenly realized she shouldn't do that.
Ủa sao không buồn nó đi?
With a decisive heart, Lily turned her wagon around, no longer thinking of cake, and pulled the wallet back to the same spot to wait patiently. A little while later, his face lit up when he saw Lily approaching with his wallet.
Ồ, vẫn còn ý nè. Cảm ơn mọi người nha Lily.
He joyfully took it back and
Cảm ơn bạn nha.
profusely thanked her.
Lily có gì ăn không? Mình cho Lily ít trái cây nhé.
Thank you.
Để mình bỏ nó cho Lily. Cho thêm Lily nè.
Wow.
Although she didn't get a sweet cake, Lily felt a much greater joy in her heart because she had done a good
Bye bye
deed
Lily nha.
and learned a valuable lesson about honesty. After the good deed of returning the wallet, Lily had a new idea.
Thank you.
While watching performers on her laptop being applauded by everyone, a bold idea sparked in the little monkey's mind. She would also perform to earn money. No sooner said than done, Lily immediately took her small guitar and ran to the main village road, where the most people passed by.
Beep, beep.
She chose a small corner, placed her guitar case down, and began to invite people over.
Hi. Ahem. Hi.
However, everyone hurried past, paying little attention to the small monkey with a guitar.
Hi.
Undeterred, Lily decided to let her actions speak for themselves. She began to strum the first notes. The music was a bit clumsy at first, but soon turned into a clear, cheerful melody. Lily's passion and talent gradually won over the passers-by. People started to stop, gather around her,
Thank you.
smile, and dance to the music. When the performance ended, applause erupted, and coins were dropped into her guitar case as a
Thank
gift.
you.
Wow.
Before long, she had earned a fair amount of money. Holding the money in her hands, she happily thought of the delicious sweet cakes she would buy. On her joyful way to the bakery, Lily suddenly met an old beggar sitting curled up by the roadside with an empty bowl. Seeing this pitiful sight, a strong sense of compassion rose in Lily. Without a moment's hesitation, she approached and poured all the money she had just worked so hard to earn into the old man's bowl. The grateful look in his eyes gave Lily a joy greater than any she had felt from receiving the tips. Lily returned home, her stomach empty, but her heart unusually warm. She quietly opened the rice pot and had her lunch with only the leftover cold rice from the day before. Although there were no delicious cakes, Lily learned a profound lesson. The greatest happiness sometimes comes not from receiving, but from giving and sharing with others. In the afternoon, the sun, golden like honey, stretched across the small garden. Lily and her best friend, Bibi the goat, went out to the garden to harvest carrots. Both were incredibly enthusiastic. With her small but nimble hands, Lily carefully pulled up each bright orange plump carrot that her dad had painstakingly grown. Beside her, Bibi also acted grown up, using his small horns to gently nudge the soil to help his friend, constantly bleating ba-ba in encouragement. Soon their basket was full of fresh, delicious carrots. Proud of their hard work, the two happily pulled the basket of carrots home. But then, the clear blue sky suddenly darkened, and strong cold winds began to blow. The first raindrops fell, quickly turning into a white sheet of rain. "Bebe, let's find shelter, quick!" Lily shouted. The two quickly ran to hide under the eaves of a nearby house. While huddling to avoid the cold raindrops, Lily suddenly spotted a little duck also taking shelter alone in a corner of the yard. Its feathers were soaked, and it looked lonely and frightened. Without a second thought, compassion welled up strongly in Lily. Ignoring Bebe's worried bleats, she bravely dashed out into the rain. Lily ran quickly to the duck and used her own small body to shield it, taking the full force of the rain for her new friend. Feeling the warmth and protection, the duck was no longer afraid and gently snuggled its head against Lily. In the rain, the image of the little monkey trying to protect the tiny duck created an unusually warm scene, proving a friendship that knows no hardship had just begun to bloom. After the rain, the air became fresh and cool. Dad took Lily's hand, saying that today they would visit someone special. They walked through the familiar village paths, but this time they turned into a smaller lane, leading to a simple house, nestled quietly under the shade of a tree. It was the home of an old woman who lived alone. When she saw the father and daughter, the old woman, who was sitting on her porch, had a warm joy light up her kind eyes. Lily's dad respectfully approached, placed a small gift bag and some money on the table. He didn't say much, just gently asked about her health.
Ngoài ra chúng tôi có một số tiền nhỏ để tặng cho ngoại này. Lily tặng cho ngoại nhé. Đây Lily. Lily cầm cho ngoại đi, cầm cho ngoại đi con. Đây này, cầm cho ngoại đi con. Đúng rồi, đưa cho ngoại đi. Rồi, đưa cho ngoại. Bỏ tay cho ngoại kìa. Mặt đáng thương kìa. Đưa tiền đây cho ngoại này.
She didn't fully understand the value of gifts or money, but she could feel the respect and love in her dad's every gesture and the emotion in the old woman's eyes.
Đi ngồi chơi với ngoại nha. Nha. Để chơi với ngoại ha. Ly ha. Ngoại năm nay bao nhiêu tuổi rồi?
90.
Ồ, ngoại 90 rồi. Để sắp đạt 100 rồi. Ngoại cố đạt 100 nha. 100 là đại thọ đấy ngoại. Ly nó thích làm bà ngoại đấy. Không?
The woman's hands trembled as she took his, repeatedly murmuring her thanks.
Dạ, dạ có. Ăn cơm, ăn trái cây, ăn rau, ăn hoa quả. Dạ.
Noticing Lily looking at her curiously, the old woman turned to the little monkey, her smile growing even more affectionate. She slowly stood up, went inside, and returned a moment later with a bunch of fragrant golden bananas. She handed Lily the biggest and most beautiful one. This is for you, dear. The bananas from my garden are very sweet.
Cảm ơn bà nhé. Ôi, Ly thích cái này lắm này. Để bóc cho một cái cho Ly ăn nhé. Không biết lựa chọn quả nào cũng ngon hết. Quả nào cũng ngon hết. Đây, Ly này.
Lily took the banana with both hands. It wasn't just an ordinary banana. She could feel the old woman's whole heart in it. A simple but sincere gesture of gratitude. Lily peeled the banana, took a bite, and the sweet fragrance filled her mouth. But the sweetness in her heart was even greater.
Ngon không Ly? Hả? Chú bà cho ngon không? Ngon nhỉ? À, quay đây con. Đây, quay cho bà đi.
Chưa, chưa bọc đi. Chà.
Rồi nha, đúng rồi, con ngồi đây ăn đi. Dạ. Bóc thêm ra. Bóc thêm ra. Đúng rồi, bóc thêm ra. Rồi, con cầm đấy. À, bóc nữa hả? Ui. Đây, cầm đấy. Đúng rồi. Đây ăn đây.
Chưa.
Bóc này nó bóc. À, bóc sao? À,
She looked up at the woman, shyly murmured a quiet thank you, and then ran to offer half to her dad.
Đây của con đấy, ăn đi.
Ai
The three of them, one old, one grown, one small, sat together on the porch, sharing sweet bananas and simple stories.
Cầm tay ngoại chị được về nhá.
Lily felt an invisible yet powerful connection. She realized that happiness isn't always about big things, but about care, sharing, and sincere love for one another, especially for those who are lonely and need to be cherished.
Chào ngoại về. Chứ ngon quá hả? Chứ bà ngoại cho ngon quá đúng Ly. Ly chào bà nhé, chào bà về nhé. Sao mình đến chơi sau ha? Chứ ngon quá hả? Chứ bà ngoại cho ngon quá đúng Ly. Đi Ly.
That visit became a sweet, warm memory, etched deep in Lily's little heart. The evening sun set, painting the village path gold as the father and daughter returned from the old woman's house. The visit had left a special feeling in the little monkey's heart. As they arrived in their yard, a familiar sound brought Lily back to reality. The cheerful clucking from the chicken coop rang out, a reminder of an important evening chore. It seemed the lesson of sharing and caring she had just learned spurred her into action.
Đây Ly. Đi đây. Gà đi. Gà đấy. Đứng xem đi. Xem đi. Xem gà đi. Đi lấy đồ gà nhé. Nhé. Gà đó Hồng Ly Ly. Thấy không? Thấy gà đó.
Instead of waiting for her dad to remind her, Lily proactively ran to the grain bowl.
Mang con đây Ly.
She hugged the bowl, even though it was a bit heavy for her, and scurried towards the yard. Her dad watched, his eyes filled with surprise and pride. Lily began her work with great passion. She used a small scoop to take out handfuls of golden grain and spread it evenly across the yard. The chickens, used to their little mistress, flocked around, happily pecking at the delicious grain. Lily not only fed them, but also spoke to them gently, occasionally giggling at a greedy rooster jostling the little chicks. Her dad watched from a distance, feeling an indescribable joy. His little daughter seemed to have grown up a bit today. Lily not only knew how to receive love, but had also begun to learn how to give and care for the creatures around her.
Xin quả trứng nha. Ăn nhiều nha. Kìa, kìa, thấy Ly. Đây. Cho bà này tí đã. Thấy không? Đây. Kìa. Thấy chưa? Thấy chưa? Oh. Cắt lớp, lấy đi. Chuẩn bị lấy cho gà đi. Lấy cho gà hết đi.
That evening, the image of the little monkey diligently feeding the chickens under the setting sun became a beautiful memory, a testament to Lily's maturity and kind heart.
Cho đi vào nhé. À. Gà đi. Cầm này. Bye con gà đi. Bye. Bye gà đi. Bye gà đi. Bye. Bye gà.
The next morning, after a day of diligent study at her little school, Lily returned home with her backpack on, skipping happily. As she stepped through the familiar gate, a sudden chill ran down her spine. Lily stopped, her eyes darting around. It felt as if someone was watching her from the shadows. But after seeing nothing unusual, she shrugged it off, thinking it was just her imagination, and walked casually into the house. Inside, a plate of fresh fruit that her dad had carefully prepared was waiting on the table. Lily happily sat on the sofa, watching her favorite TV show while nibbling on the sweet fruit slices. The sense of safety and comfort in her beloved home quickly dispelled the fleeting unease from earlier. But perhaps from eating a bit too quickly, a sudden stomachache hit her. Lily grimaced and rushed to the bathroom. In that very moment when the house was empty, a dark figure sneaked in. It was a thief with a masked face, only his sly eyes visible. He tiptoed through the rooms, his hands nimbly rummaging through every corner, hoping to find valuable assets. At the same time, having taken care of business, Lily felt better and came out. But the sight before her made her freeze. A stranger was in her house.
Huh? Oh my God.
Lily's heart pounded in her chest. Fear washed over her. Should she run or scream? But then, the image of her hard-working dad, the image of the beloved house she considered her sanctuary, gave Lily extraordinary courage. No! She couldn't let a bad person destroy this place. After a fierce internal struggle, Lily's fearful eyes became resolute. She decided to confront him. Lily gently stepped back, grabbing anything she could use as a makeshift weapon. A hard plastic toy, a small stick.
Hey!
The thief,
Oh my God!
busy rummaging, was startled to see a strange object rushing furiously towards him. He was so terrified that he dropped his bag of loot and, without a second thought, turned and fled for his life. Lily didn't stop. She continued to chase the thief all the way to the gate. After making sure the danger was gone, Lily used all her strength to carefully shut the gate. Though her heart was still racing, she felt incredibly proud. She had protected her home and herself. After After the brave confrontation with the thief, Lily shut the gate, and the feeling of safety gradually returned. But when she entered the house, she saw her dad lying on the bed, his face pale and tired.
Dad.
Dad was sick. A fever had made him fall asleep, his breathing heavy. All the bravery from before seemed to vanish, replaced by infinite worry for her beloved father.
Lily, đâu đấy? Hả? Sao Ly? Hả? Sao? Sao đâu nhé? Thì đau bụng chưa? Hả? Đau bụng chưa Ly? Đau đầu quá Ly. Đau đầu á. Không sao đâu nhé. Không sao đâu. Rất buồn thật. Nhìn vào đây nhé.
Dad.
Without hesitation, Lily knew what she had to do. She was no longer a child who only received care. Now, she would be the one to care for her dad. The first action of the little nurse was to check his temperature. Lily ran to get her toy thermometer. Carefully placed it under her dad's arm, and then sat beside him, waiting with a very serious expression. After taking out the thermometer, although she didn't really understand the numbers, looking at her dad's tired face, she knew he had a high fever. Next, she ran to the family's medicine cabinet. With her short stature, she had to stand on her tiptoes, trying her best to get a pack of fever-reducing pills. With the medicine in hand, she scurried to the kitchen and poured a full glass of water.
Dad.
She gently woke her dad, handing him the pill and the glass of water. Although he only drank weakly, Lily's tenderness
Lily?
seemed to be the best medicine.
Mang gì đây? Ừ? Đây hả? Mang gì đấy? Thuốc à? Con mở đi. Ừ. À, cái này bỏ thuốc vào đây uống hả? Ừ. Ừ. À. Trong đây này, trong đây này. Đó, đúng rồi. Đây này. À, vào đây nhé. Đây kìa, cái này vào đây đi. Đấy, đấy. Vào đây đi. Ừ. À, đã đó. Anh chị em. Sao đi? Hả? Ừ. Vào ly nha. Nha. Rồi, bà cắt đi nha. Cái này nhá. À. Vào đây nhé. Ừ. Bây giờ bà nghỉ tí nhá. Đi kiếm gì ăn đi ha. Được chưa?
The entire care process, though clumsy and just a child's imitation, was filled with boundless love. Lily didn't say a word, only acted. And it was these quiet, devoted actions that transformed the little monkey into a great caregiver, warming the entire room and the heart of her father, who was tired from the fever. After taking thorough care of her dad and ensuring he was resting peacefully, Lily knew there was another important task waiting for her. That was taking care of Bebe, the baby goat who was also her dear friend. She ran out to the yard, put on her favorite cowboy hat, looking like a real little rancher. Normally, this was her dad's job, but today, Lily would take over.
Hi.
Hey! Lily gently led Bebe out of the pen. Today, she decided to give her friend a very special outing. Lily climbed onto Bebe's back, and the goat horse began its adventure. They strolled around the garden together under the warm afternoon sun. Lily sat perched on her friend's back, her hands tightly gripping his soft fur, chattering away non-stop. Bebe also walked happily, occasionally letting out a "bah" as if in reply. They stopped at a lush green meadow. Lily slid off her friend's back, and they enjoyed a light meal together. Lily picked the tenderest blades of grass for Bibi while she sat beside him, nibbling on nuts she had prepared. Oh! Hey! Aha! Oh! Hey! Oh! The two friends, one monkey, one goat, just sat together, sharing food and enjoying the peaceful atmosphere of the garden. As evening approached, Lily knew it was time to take Bebe home. She led her friend back to the pen, making sure Bebe had enough water. She carefully filled the water trough, then stood watching her friend drink contentedly, feeling a simple joy in her heart. Having finished all her tasks, Lily finally took off her cowboy hat. It had been a long day. She had not only cared for her sick father, but had also excellently fulfilled the role of a little mistress, looking after her goat friend. Through these actions, Lily proved she was not just a mischievous monkey, but a responsible and loving friend and daughter. That morning, Lily's aunt didn't seem well. Her face was a bit pale. Lily, who was playing nearby, saw her aunt's tired expression and immediately ran over. Lily's big round eyes showed her concern. She gently shook her aunt and then used her small hands to pull at her leg, trying to get her to go rest.
What are you doing, Lily?
This innocent and caring act touched her aunt, who stroked Lily's head and gave a faint smile. Seeing Lily's persistent worry, her aunt picked the little monkey up, gently placed her on the sofa, and patted her soothingly. She wanted Lily to rest as well, and not to worry about her. A little while later, her aunt decided to continue her unfinished housework. She began to pick up the clutter on the floor. Although Lily was on the sofa, her eyes never left her aunt. Seeing her still trying to work, the little monkey jumped down and playfully clung to her aunt's leg, following her every step. It seemed Lily wanted to be by her side at all times, both out of concern and affection.
No problem. I'm okay.
Then, as if remembering something, Lily left her aunt's leg and started to wander around the house, peeking into every room. The little monkey seemed to be looking for someone. She opened the bedroom door slightly, looked inside, and then ran out again. She continued her search through every nook and cranny of the house, looking a bit anxious. Perhaps Lily was looking for her dad to report on her aunt's condition. After searching for her dad and not finding him, Lily returned to the living room. The little monkey began to pick up the things her aunt had been working on, carefully tidying them up. When her aunt sat down to rest, Lily immediately came closer and snuggled up to her. She gently rubbed her head against her aunt's arm, her eyes still showing concern. It was Lily's way of comforting and showing her love, a sincere and adorable gesture from the little monkey's heart. The story continues in the cozy kitchen, where the mother and daughter are preparing a meal together. Lily's mom is chopping vegetables, while Lily sits obediently beside her, watching curiously. Suddenly, an unfortunate accident happens. Due to a moment of carelessness, her mom accidentally cuts her hand with the knife. A small cut appears, and drops of blood begin to well up. Seeing her mom wince in pain and look at the wound, Lily immediately realizes something is wrong. Her usual mischievous look is gone, her round eyes filled with extreme worry. Without a moment's hesitation, Lily transforms into a real doctor. She rushes to the family's first aid kit. With her short stature, Lily has to stand on her tiptoes, trying her best to open the cabinet door. She takes a quick look and swiftly grabs a box of adhesive bandages. With the box in hand, Lily scurries back to her mom. She carefully opens the box and, with her small but nimble hands, gently applies a bandage to her mom's wound. Every action is incredibly careful and gentle, as if afraid of causing more pain.
Cảm ơn Ly nha. Rồi, cho mẹ xin một cái nha. Rồi, để xuống đây nào. Ly giúp mẹ bóc ra nè. Bóc ra nào. Bóc ra nào. Bóc ra giúp mẹ nào. Ôi dồi, ôi dồi, dội quá. Ôi dội quá. Rồi, bóc ra cho mẹ nào. Ôi dội quá, cho mẹ xin nha. Ôi, để mẹ dán lại nè. Dán lại nha. Dán lại hộ mẹ nào. Uống lại hộ mẹ nào. Rồi, uống lại giúp mẹ nha. Ôi dồi, mẹ chảy máu rồi nè. Cột lại cho mẹ nha. Cột lại giúp mẹ bị thương này. Chỗ này nè. Đi thổi giúp mẹ nè. Thổi giúp mẹ nè. Nha. Mẹ bị thương rồi này. Đấy. Cột lại giúp mẹ nè. Thổi giúp mẹ đi. Thổi giúp mẹ cái nè. Nào, thổi nè. Thổi cho mẹ một cái nè. Nào, đấy, thổi đi. Thổi nè.
After providing first aid, Lily is still not at ease. She climbs onto her mom's lap, wraps her arms around her neck, and presses her cheek against her mom's as if to comfort her. It seems Lily wants to say, "Don't worry, Mom, I'm here." The thoughtful care and sincere affection from her little daughter soothe the mother's pain. She smiles and hugs Lily tightly. The cut on her hand may be small, but the love Lily has for her mom is immense. Afterward, to keep her little daughter from worrying, the mom holds Lily in her arms and continues preparing the meal.
Có rửa đầu phụ mẹ không này?
The final scene is of the whole family gathered around the dinner table. Lily is fed sweet slices of watermelon by her mom, a well-deserved
Yeah.
reward for the brave and kind little nurse of the day.
Trời ngon nha. Ngon quá nha. Nha. Chà, ngon quá nha. Rồi, ngon quá, ngon quá.
Ngon quá. Rồi lấy giấy nha. Cứ bỏ xuống đi, bỏ ra. Bỏ xuống.
Ăn rau không? Ly có ăn rau không? Cho Ly miếng nha. Cho con miếng nào nha. Rau đi con. Dạ giỏi chưa? Ơi dạ giỏi quá.
Today, Lily looked like a true little farmer. First, father and daughter prepared together for the task of planting a new flower to add more beauty to their garden. Lily was visibly very eager and enthusiastic. She toddled ahead, then ran back, trying her best to assist Dad in carrying small gardening tools, like a little trowel, a pair of gloves, and most importantly, a potted flowering plant with lovely unopened buds promising to bloom beautifully to the empty patch of ground Dad had carefully selected beforehand. Even though the items were a bit heavy for her, Lily persisted with all her might, sometimes hugging the flower pot tightly, other times dragging the small trowel, her face full of determination. When they reached the planting spot, Lily even imitated Dad, picking up her own tiny trowel, and then diligently, with all her might, tried to dig a small hole in the damp earth. Lily's clumsy but earnest digging efforts made Dad smile fondly. Although Lily's strength probably didn't dig much soil, her enthusiasm and desire to contribute were truly precious.
Thấy chưa?
After Dad had used a larger trowel to dig a hole perfectly sized for the plant's root ball, Lily also carefully helped. Dad placed the potted flower into the center of the hole, making sure it was upright. Then she joined Dad in patting down small handfuls of brown earth around the base of the plant, filling the hole her tiny hands covered in soil. To ensure the newly planted flower had enough moisture and would quickly take root, the next essential step was watering. Once the watering can was full, father and daughter carried it back together to the newly planted flower. Dad graciously let Lily hold the spout of the watering can. Under Dad's guidance, she carefully tilted the can, allowing a gentle stream of cool water to flow down evenly, watering the soil around the base of the small flower. The task of planting the new flower was successfully completed. Now, father and daughter moved on to another equally enjoyable activity, harvesting fresh vegetables and fruits directly from their own garden. Lily once again demonstrated her resourcefulness and skill. She nimbly followed Dad to the beds of lush green vegetables. With a charming little woven bamboo basket in her hand, Lily carefully picked tender young leafy greens, perhaps some spinach, some water spinach, rao mung, or other fragrant herbs, and gently placed them into her basket. Lily's sharp eyes selected very carefully, only picking the freshest, greenest leaves. After gathering a good amount of leafy greens, father and daughter moved on to the tomato trellises, which were laden with fruit. The ripe red tomatoes, plump round and glossy under the sunlight, looked truly tempting. Lily was visibly very excited by these red orbs. She carefully selected the ones that were evenly ripened, then used her small but deft hands to gently twist and pluck them from the vine, trying not to bruise them. Next were the thriving lettuce plants, their fresh green leaves curled tightly into large heads. Lily was also very professional in harvesting lettuce. After a bountiful harvest from the garden, father and daughter brought their fresh spoils into the house. Lily showed no signs of fatigue but continued her important work by assisting Dad in washing the freshly picked produce. Under the cool running water in the kitchen, Sink Lily carefully washed each lettuce leaf, each tomato, each sprig of green. She tried to remove all the clinging soil, though occasionally water splashed everywhere, wetting her yellow shirt. Her enthusiasm and eagerness remained undiminished.
Dạ. Ha, để tay thôi ha. Đứng lên nào. Đứng lên, đứng lên. Dạ. Đường này quá đây bạn thân ơi. Đấy, thả lên nha. Rồi, đi nào. Rồi, ngồi đây nhé. Chờ ba tí ha. Đây kìa. Ngồi ghế đi con.
When all the vegetables were cleaned and placed in colanders to drain, Dad and Lily began to prepare a simple yet incredibly nutritious and delicious meal from these very homegrown ingredients. A mixed salad with crisp lettuce, juicy tomatoes, refreshing cucumbers, and characteristic aromatic herbs was jointly prepared by father and daughter. Lily helped Dad pick the herbs and arrange the tomatoes on a plate. These small tasks, though, minor represented connection and sharing.
Rồi, đi bỏ đây cho ba đi. Đúng rồi, giỏi quá. Còn ghế đi con. Giỏi. Còn ghế, đúng rồi. Giỏi. Rồi, nè. Ngon quá ha. Đây, bỏ cái gì nhá. Bỏ đây ha. Đây, đừng bỏ đây nhá. Để ăn nhá. Đây, đi bỏ vô đi. Đây này. Đây, xếp này ha. Rồi, đi nè. Được quá, đây ngồi đi.
Then both sat down at the dining table, happily enjoying the meal they had cultivated, harvested, and prepared with their own
Đây, con làm
hands.
gì đi ăn nhé. Đây.
Lily seemed to greatly enjoy this colorful and naturally flavorful homegrown dish. She used her own little fork, slowly savoring each bite of salad, her face full of delight and contentment. The meal, though simple, contained so much affection and the joy of labor. But Lily's enthusiastic kitchen endeavors didn't stop there. After a light and healthy lunch, father and daughter decided to embark on another culinary adventure together, baking a fragrant loaf of bread, a treat perhaps both of them dearly loved. Lily was entrusted by Dad with an important and also very fun task, kneading the dough. Her small hands dusted with white flour, diligently pressed, pushed, and then folded the soft, pliable, and elastic dough on a clean board. Although Lily's kneading motions were somewhat clumsy and not quite professional, her concentration and the sheer joy evident on her face as she participated in this crucial stage were undeniable. After the dough had been thoroughly kneaded, with some additional help from Dad, of course, it was placed into a pretty baking tin, then carefully put into the preheated oven. While waiting for the bread to turn golden brown and fill the house with its delightful aroma, Dad took the opportunity to go back out to the garden to finish some plant care tasks he had started earlier that morning. Lily perhaps also trotted out after Dad or stayed indoors, keeping a watchful eye on the bread, slowly rising and puffing up in the oven. When the rich, sweet aroma of baking bread permeated the entire house, signaling that the loaf was perfectly baked, Lily was visibly very excited and eager. Under Dad's careful guidance and close supervision, as he had come back inside by now, she, perhaps wearing small oven mitts, carefully opened the oven door, then slowly took the golden brown piping, hot loaf of bread out of the oven. A sense of accomplishment shone brightly on Lily's face. Then, Lily, with unconcealed pride, personally carried the warm, fragrant loaf of bread out to the garden for Dad, who was resting under the cool shade of a tree after his work. Dad's face lit up when he saw Lily bringing out the bread. He happily accepted the sweet reward from his little daughter's hands. Using the freshly baked, still warm bread and the clean, fresh vegetables they had harvested from their own garden that morning, Dad skillfully made a simple yet incredibly appealing and nutritious vegetable sandwich. Father and daughter then sat together under the tree, slowly savoring the fruits of their entire morning's labor. A delightful outdoor snack, memorable and filled with the taste of effort and affection. A day for Lily thus passed filled with diligent gardening tasks.
Dad.
One early morning, unlike the usual mornings filled with laughter and energetic activity, the atmosphere in the small, simple house was somewhat subdued and heavy. Lily's dad, her big companion and steadfast support, seemed unwell. He remained in his familiar bed, his face looking a bit pale and weary. And through his somewhat labored breathing, Lily seemed to sense that Dad was feverish. Little monkey Lily, with her special sensitivity and a deep affection for Dad, appeared to have immediately recognized this unusual situation. Seeing Dad lying still, not getting up to play with her or prepare breakfast as usual, Lily showed immense worry and restlessness. She gently on tiptoe approached the edge of the bed. Then, using her tiny soft hands, she lightly nudged Dad's arm. Soft, cheep sounds emanating from her throat, as if trying to call him awake, as if asking questions. When Dad still didn't react much, Lily became even more anxious. She carefully climbed onto the bed, snuggled her small, furry face against Dad's forehead, then pressed her own cheek against his, as if trying to check his temperature herself. Her big, round, dark eyes at this moment shone with an unconcealed anxiety, a sincere concern. These tender gestures, though clumsy and entirely instinctual, were enough to show the profound care and heartfelt affection Lily had for her beloved dad. After a while of trying to wake Dad with gentle nudges and calls without much success, Lily performed an incredibly intelligent and thoughtful Act 1 that was truly astonishing. She toddled over to the familiar refrigerator in the kitchen corner, a place she knew well. With her dexterity and perhaps a bit of luck, Lily managed to open the refrigerator door herself. She peered inside amidst the bottles and food containers and quickly found a cool bottle of water, perhaps filtered water, or a nutritious fruit juice that Dad often prepared. Lily carefully hugged the bottle, which was a bit heavy and cumbersome for her small frame, then slowly, step by step, carried it all the way to Dad's bedside. Dad, despite being very tired from the fever, managed to push himself up, a weak but deeply touched smile appearing on his lips as he accepted the bottle of water from his little daughter's trembling hands. Lily's unexpected and sincere care was like a precious spiritual medicine, a great source of encouragement, helping Dad feel somewhat comforted and giving him more strength to fight off his fatigue. A little later, after drinking some water and feeling a bit better, Dad decided he had to try to get up and cook something light and easy to digest, both for himself to regain strength and also to have something for Lily to eat, as she too had been worried and was probably hungry by now. Lily, like a little shadow, also trotted after Dad into the kitchen, not leaving his side for a moment, her eyes still reflecting concern and care. Dad decided to cook carrot porridge, a simple but nutritious dish, very good for someone who was unwell and also suitable for Lily's palate. Lily also seemed to assist Dad by sitting quietly beside him, her big round eyes curiously watching Dad take rice from the jar and wash it clean, then carefully peel, wash, and dice the fresh, bright orange carrots into tiny pieces. Afterwards, all the ingredients were put into a small pot with just enough water, then placed on the stove to simmer gently until the porridge was cooked through and the carrots were soft. The fragrant aroma of porridge and the sweet scent of carrots began to slowly, gently permeate the cozy kitchen space. When the carrot porridge had been thoroughly simmered, the rice grains had bloomed open, blending with the soft carrot pieces to create a smooth, creamy mixture that emitted a wonderfully enticing aroma. Dad carefully turned off the stove. He gently ladled the porridge into 2 pristine white porcelain bowls, a large full bowl for himself, and a small pretty bowl with just the right portion for Lily. Dad even carefully let the porridge cool down a bit before giving it to Lily, afraid she might burn herself. Father and daughter sat together at the small kitchen table, slowly savoring the hot, nutritious porridge. Lily seemed to really enjoy this porridge. She used her little spoon, scooping up each spoonful with gusto, occasionally looking up at Dad with happy eyes. Perhaps thanks to the devoted care and warm affection of his little daughter Lily. Along with the nourishing carrot porridge, Dad felt much stronger. The fever seemed to have subsided somewhat, and his spirits were also lifted.
Dad.
Gì Ly? Gì đấy? Dậy rồi hả? Đi dậy hả? Dậy sớm thế. Thoải mái này. Thoải mái này. dậy này. Này Ly này. Này các chân này. Này, đưa vào đây đi.
Hả?
Cầm kéo đi.
In the afternoon, after a nap that was perhaps to fully recover his health from the morning's illness, Dad felt much more alert, healthier, and full of energy. Looking out into the yard, seeing the sun had softened and a gentle breeze was blowing, he decided to take Lily outside for a bit of exercise and a change of scenery after a somewhat gloomy and anxious morning because Dad had been sick. Dad gently approached the spot where Lily was soundly napping. Perhaps she too was tired after looking after Dad. He lightly shook Lily's shoulder, then softly called her name. The little monkey stirred, then slowly opened her eyes. Seeing Dad looking healthier, his face brighter, Lily was visibly overjoyed and happy. Cheep cheep sounds once again filled the air.
Ôm chặt đi nha. Ôm chặt vào nha. Ôm chặt vào. Đúng rồi, ôm chặt vào. Ha. Cầm chặt tay vào. Rồi, đi nha. Lý đỏ, đúng rồi. Đây này, đảo này. Đi thôi. Đây. Wow. Cầm cho ba này, đó. Đây, cầm cho ba. Rồi, đi đây, đây. Đúng rồi. Đi nào. Đi thôi. Đây đi ơi. Đúng rồi, giỏi lắm. Để ba đi nhá. Đây này, đi nè, đây coi. Đây này. Làm gì kìa đi. Làm gì kìa. Đi đây, đi đây. Đi ra. Ăn thử đi. Được không? Ngon không? Úi giời, ngon quá ha. Yeah. Nè. Lạc ngon ha. Đấy, bỏ đây nhé.
Father and daughter cheerfully went out to the small garden behind their house, a green, cool space with neat rows of vegetables that Dad had diligently cultivated and cared for. Here, Lily once again demonstrated her resourcefulness and cooperative spirit by helping Dad harvest some fresh vegetables for their upcoming dinner. She toddled between the rows of vegetables, sometimes stopping by the patch of young green sweet potato leaves, using her tiny hands to pick the tender shoots. Other times, she would find some ripe red tomatoes still clinging to the vine after previous harvests. Lily's small hands worked nimbly, making her look no different from a true little farmer, diligent and full of enthusiasm.
Chọc đi, chọc. Đào củ lên cái ly nhá. Chưa? Đào để bắt đầu cái ly nhá. Đúng không? Đúng rồi đó. Đấy. Đây ly này. Ôi. Wow. Đây này. Ui. Đây. Wow. Này luộc ăn nhá. Thấy chưa? Thấy tiếp này. Đây đi. Ồ. Quá. Ừ. Đúng rồi. Bấy đi con. Giỏi lắm, đúng rồi. Ồ, cho con xem nào. Ồ. À đúng rồi đi ơi, đúng rồi, đúng rồi, đúng rồi. Đúng rồi, ta rồi. Nè, đúng chưa? Thôi nhé, tôi về thôi ha. Giờ về mình làm nhé. Để ăn thử nhé. Để ăn sao nhé. Đi nào đi ăn. Đứng lên con. Đứng lên, đi nào. Đây nè. Đây. Đi này. Đi đâu đi.
After gathering a basket full of fresh, delicious vegetables, enough for their dinner, Dad carefully placed Lily into the familiar motorbike basket. The basket was lined with a soft cushion and had safety straps to ensure Lily wouldn't fall out while the motorbike was moving. Then, father and daughter set off on a slightly longer outing perhaps, to a place with even fresher air and more beautiful scenery to lift their spirits. Dad's familiar motorbike chugged along the peaceful village road, a cool afternoon breeze, carrying the faint scent of ripening rice. However, the trip was not entirely smooth sailing, as father and daughter had hoped. As they were passing through a section of dirt road, perhaps due to a sudden downpour the previous night, this stretch of road had become extremely muddy, slippery, and difficult to navigate. Dad's motorbike, despite his efforts to ride very slowly and carefully, eventually got stuck in the mire, its rear wheels spinning without being able to move forward. Dad had no choice but to turn off the engine, get off the bike, and then use all his strength to try and push the heavy motorbike through this challenging section of road. Lily sat in the basket, perhaps also sensing Dad's struggle and difficulty. She sat guai-guai, lay still, not fidgeting or disturbing Dad, her small eyes watching Dad with concern, like a silent encouragement, an unspoken sharing of the burden.
Hi. Chào bà đi kìa. Đây, đi nè.
Đây, có cái gì đâu.
Này đâu?
After a period of relentless effort, with beads of sweat trickling down his forehead, father and daughter finally managed to get through the treacherous muddy patch and arrived home safely, albeit a little spattered with mud on their clothes and the vehicle. To celebrate this somewhat arduous but also memorable trip, and also to have a warm, nutritious evening meal. After their efforts, Dad decided to steam sweet potatoes and peanuts. Simple, rustic, familiar dishes, but incredibly delicious and healthy, and also very easy to digest.
Đi quay mà hướng cái xe ở đây à? Mai cái gì đi chợ ở đây? Đây cái gì đi chợ ở đây? Không ngồi đây nhá, ngồi đây mà rửa khoai ha. Cái mũi ra nào. Mũ kìa, cắt cái mũi được không? Cắt cái mũi bếp nhá, cắt mũi bàn đi. Đây ngồi đi.
again sat beside Dad in the kitchen, her round eyes eagerly watching Dad wash the golden orange sweet potatoes plump and round. Then the fresh peanuts, their shells still clinging with a bit of moist earth. Afterwards, Dad placed everything into a steamer, set it on the stove
Vào
over
đây
a
nhé,
gentle
vào đây,
flame.
vào đây ha. Vào đây. Đúng rồi, vào đây con. Vào đây luôn. Vào đây này. Giỏi quá. Đây này con. Vào đây. Đúng rồi. Thế thôi nhé. Con rửa sơ một tí nữa nhé. Cho vào đây ha. Đây này, cho vào đây này, đây này. Đây đi qua đây. Đây. Đây đi cầm đây. Bỏ đây này. Đúng rồi, bỏ đi. Bỏ đây. Đúng rồi, bỏ đây. Bỏ đây này con. Bỏ lấy đi. Bỏ. Đó, đây rồi. Đây này, bỏ đây ha. Ok, con ngồi đi đi. Ngồi đi đã ha. Thì còn lại thì ba nha. Ok. Đó, được rồi. Được rồi. Cái này mình chờ tí ha. Cái này mình chờ xíu nhé, đúng không? Mình chờ xíu nhé. Đi lấy ghế. Ghế này, ghế đây này. Kéo đây con. Đây, đây. Đây. Đây nè. Qua đi đi. Đây. Ngồi chờ tí nhá, lấy cái móc nha. Đây. Chờ xíu ha. Đi đâu đấy? Đi đâu đấy? Đi đâu? Sáng đi đâu? Oh.
A little while later, as the sweet potatoes and peanuts began to cook through their characteristic sweet, nutty aroma, started to permeate the entire house, creating a truly warm, simple, and incredibly comforting feeling. Finally, when everything was perfectly soft and cooked, Dad carefully arranged them on a plate. Father and daughter sat down together at their small table, slowly savoring the simple, yet deeply affectionate meal. The sweetness of the honeyed sweet potatoes, the nutty, savory taste of the hot peanuts blended with the joy of sharing, and the bond forged after a long day full of challenges concluded a day with many emotions, much joy, and also meaningful lessons about family affection, care, and perseverance.
Chờ tí nào, nguội đã.